In the 60s, hundreds of thousands of Americans arrived in Da Nang, Vietnam, and many later died while fighting in the Vietnam War. Today, American baby boomers remember Da Nang as a tragic place. But Gen Z and millennials are flocking there for a dream life they can't find in the US. I was one of them, but more on my story later.
And when I go back to America, I have more feelings of stress and anxiety than I ever do in Vietnam.
Kind of feels like in LA, anytime you step out of the house, it's gonna cost you money. So you have no choice but to just stay home.
And I'll probably never go back to living in America.
The number of foreign citizens arriving in Da Nang surged by more than 1/3 in 2024 from the year before, to more than 4 million people. Microsoft founder Bill Gates was one of them, reportedly spending $30,000 per night with his girlfriend. Da Nang was the most searched city by Americans in January 2025 on popular booking website Agoda, with searches increasing by 16 times compared to 1 year earlier. Lured by headlines like cheapest and best city in the world, many expats are migrating from other digital nomad hotspots like Lisbon, Mexico City, and Bangkok, where the cost of living has skyrocketed. Now the cost of living in Da Nang is spiking as well, and it's pushing local Vietnamese out of certain neighborhoods, many local residents told me.
A lot of local people just leave the tourist area to live because it's too expensive.
Locals and expats are even questioning whether Da Nang is the new Bali, Indonesia. But that just means what the city has been planning all along is working. More on that later. In this video, I'm gonna break down why Da Nang is suddenly drawing so many foreigners from the West, how the city is changing in 2025 for the better and worse, and whether it's right for you for a short or longer trip, if at all. At its heart, this is a story about the effects of immigration, driven by the universal quest for a better life. Before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe. It would really support me in making more videos like this. I'm Helen, an American millennial who found myself in Da Nang, Vietnam for 1 week in May 2023, during a 1.5-year trip around the world. I had quit my dream job as a video journalist at CNBC, a company I loved, to heal my burnout and find true happiness beyond work. What contributed a lot to my burnout and anxiety was this feeling that no matter how hard I worked, I'd never be able to afford a house, kids, and retirement in my hometown of Los Angeles, California. I live in an apartment, and when I quit my job, the houses in my working class neighborhood were going for about $1 million each. And these aren't even houses that I would want to move into. From late 2022 to early 2024, I traveled through 18 countries in Asia and South America, including the most epic cities in the world. But there are only a few places where I felt this amazing sense of abundance, comfort, peace, and freedom. Like, oh, this is what the American dream is supposed to feel like. And Da Nang was one of those places. It comes down to the cost of living and quality of life, which I'm gonna break down in detail in the next couple chapters, along with the challenges of living in Da Nang and what's changed in 2025. Hang tight. After my week in Da Nang, I published an Instagram reel that got nearly 1 million views and a lot of comments like, "Can we keep Da Nang a secret? Please, please, please." I'm sorry to do this, guys, but this moment in the spotlight is one Da Nang has been building toward for decades, to attract more visitors and boost the economy. The city hasn't always provided the quality of life that it does today. It took decades of investment.
I lived here for 27 years. The biggest change is the quality of life. My family in Saigon, they keep telling me like, don't live in Da Nang. There's nothing there, like literally nothing. The beach side was like a desert. A foreigner was like a celebrity.
Since the 90s, Da Nang has borrowed hundreds of millions of dollars from the World Bank to upgrade buildings, roads, public transportation, bridges, and other infrastructure, to improve the quality of life for locals, but also to attract more of the tourists who have always gone to Hoi An, Ha Long Bay, and Hanoi. This 2017 World Bank document literally says Da Nang is the first city in Vietnam to separate its wastewater treatment and sewer systems, a really expensive procedure, in part to keep its most popular beach clean, to attract more tourists.
There are more and more, they have different coffee brand, shopping mall, store, everything. In general, it's getting better and better, and I really want to stay here.
Now Da Nang is seeking a return on its investments, and it's being more ambitious about attracting foreign rather than domestic travelers to its shores. It aims to attract 17% more foreign citizens in 2025 than the year before, and 10% more visitors in total, or about 12 million people. Da Nang has taken measures such as hosting its first food tour festival and even a 2-week digital nomad festival to celebrate the quote-unquote vibrant nomadic lifestyle. And so far, it's working. These prestigious magazines just named Da Nang as one of the top places to visit in Asia. Tourism brought in $1.2 billion in revenue in 2024, making up about 20% of the economy. That helped the city grow its GDP 7.5% last year, triple the rate of US GDP growth in the same period. And many locals are feeling a difference in their lives.
But my friends, they are working on food and beverage service and rental market. Their revenue is spike up increase really fast, about 50% in revenue within 1 year.
So you are able to afford a more expensive apartment because your business has gotten better. That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing for me, amazing for me.
But the influx of visitors has driven up prices. So let's break down the cost of living in 2025 and important steps to avoid overpaying when you're here. When I arrived in Da Nang, I had already traveled through many of the places that blogs and media outlets deem the cheapest cities in Asia, including Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phnom Penh, and Ho Chi Minh City. Da Nang was cheaper. It was the cheapest city I visited across 8 countries during my year in Asia in 2023. When I say cheap, keep in mind I speak from the perspective of a middle-class American. For most locals, it's not cheap. People living along Vietnam's central coast, which includes Da Nang, spend on average around $100 per month on their living costs. Now, tourists and expats often live different lifestyles and in different areas than the average local. So how does the cost of living translate for us? In Da Nang, I lived very comfortably on about $25 per day. Let's run through the less controversial expenses, and then I'll get into housing costs, which have soared in 2025. Locals tell me that food and transportation costs have largely stayed the same in the last few years. For food, night market bites cost me $1 to $2. Meals at mid-range restaurants cost me anywhere from $2 to $7. To get around, I used Grab, the Uber of Southeast Asia. Grab offers motorbike rides, which cost me just 50 cents per mile in Da Nang. And healthcare is a lot cheaper than in the US.
Get an MRI and an X-ray, and then come back the next day once it's all developed and have the consultation.
Right.
All for the whopping price of $190 US.
The cost of housing is what really blew me away about Da Nang. And it's also the biggest source of tension right now between locals, longtime expats, and new expats. Because what happened in Lisbon and Mexico City is starting to happen in Da Nang. While traveling throughout Southeast Asia, I was paying $20 to $30 per night for comfortable mid-range hotels. In Da Nang, I got the same quality hotel room 1 block from the beach for $9 per night through Booking.com. And there were a lot to choose from at that price point in May 2023, right around high season. Those same hotels on Booking.com now cost $12 to $30 per night or more for the same time period in 2025. For example, this highly rated place by the beach costs $17 to $20 per night in mid-May. As for longer-term housing, there's no shortage of expats showing off their cheap luxury apartments on YouTube.
2-bedroom apartment with an incredible view, also a restaurant, rooftop bar with a pool, and a huge gym.
After a 20 to 30% price increase since 2023, here's what rents now cost on average in early 2025, in areas popular with foreigners, mostly concentrated along the beach. According to local real estate agents and landlords I spoke to, rents for apartments with ocean views have surged even more, as much as 50%.
Landlords are asking for much more money than what I've ever seen prices go for in Da Nang.
This is happening due to increased demand, landlords wanting to recoup some of their losses from the pandemic, and expats who don't know the market rates overpaying for their apartments. Like this guy, who got trashed in the comments.
These new Westerners that maybe have never been to Da Nang, maybe never negotiated, maybe they have a lot of money, maybe they live in the USA and they're using an unfair logic to say, hey, in the USA, this place would be $2,000 a month. Sure, no problem, I'll pay $1,000.
A lot of locals and longtime expats are getting priced out of these areas, and they're venting their frustrations online. Some even want the government to step in to regulate the housing market. One Vietnamese woman posted in a Facebook group for expats in Da Nang, rental prices have been skyrocketing. I'm currently paying about $200 per month for a place that isn't even in great condition. Now they're kicking everyone out and raising the rent to about $295. Keep in mind, locals in Da Nang only earn on average around $300 per month. To avoid overpaying and increasing the base price that landlords are willing to accept, locals and expats on the ground say to first book a hotel, then come view apartments in person, and then negotiate. You can learn the market rates by looking for rentals posted in Da Nang expat Facebook groups, which is also one of the best ways to find housing. But prices may come down or at least hold steady in the not too distant future, since thousands more apartments are set to hit the market in the next couple years.
We need more people come here. I think in rental market, we gonna oversupply within 2 years. They are building really fast.
All of the new construction has its downsides too. Construction noise is now one of the top complaints among expats. Living in Da Nang comes with one more cost that can really add up. And expats say it's the biggest headache of living in Da Nang. You have to leave the country every few months to get a new visa. Most expats come in on 3-month tourist visas. To get a new one, you do what's called a visa run. Leave Vietnam, apply for a new visa, wait for approval, which takes about a week, before you can return. Now, there are cheaper services that can expedite this process. One woman quoted me $120 for a service that will pick you up, drive you across the Laos border, approve your visa application in 2 hours, and bring you back the same day. I'll link to her service below. For the quality of life that Da Nang offers, it was only a matter of time before people discovered this place and the cost of living caught up. Let's break down what you're getting for your money and whether Da Nang is right for you for a short or longer stay, if at all. To measure quality of life, I look at these metrics. I felt a sense of well-being in Da Nang that I don't feel in a lot of bustling cities because of the city's design, infrastructure, and surrounding nature. Da Nang has a relatively modern cityscape, with smooth paved roads, plenty of newer buildings, and well-designed indoor spaces. As a digital nomad, I'm obsessed with unique and trendy cafes, and there was no shortage of them in Da Nang. The city is laid out in a way that feels spacious and not too busy, jam-packed, or congested. You're also surrounded by nature, with mountains to the west and the beach to the east. And you've got beachy weather that's warm and humid year-round, except for extreme heat, typically from June to August, and pouring rain, typically from October to December. The rainy season sometimes comes with deadly tropical storms. But overall, Da Nang is a chill beach city with an attitude to match.
People here, we're not very competitive. Just enjoy life and relax. They like going to cafe after working hours instead of working more and more.
But the calm that makes Da Nang great for living is what many tourists seeking an adventure find boring, because there's not a ton to do. Aside from the beach, the Marble Mountains, and the Bana Hills, it's certainly not as thrilling as Bali or Mexico City. Here are some comments I got on my viral Instagram reel about Da Nang. Da Nang was boring after just one day. Nice, but nothing to do in this city. For most, I would skip this trip. Da Nang is a vibe, but it's not super fun. In fact, if you're a tourist with limited time, I'd say skip Da Nang, stick to the north of Vietnam, and go to these places. What you can do in Da Nang is consume a lot of great food and coffee, and meet other like-minded people seeking a better life abroad. You can connect with people using Facebook groups like these. which have tens of thousands of members, and share a meal at one of 36 restaurants in Da Nang featured by the Michelin Guide, which recognized Da Nang for the first time in 2024. However, connecting on a deeper level with many locals can be tough, since most don't speak great English, and Vietnamese is a very difficult language to learn. Although you can get around just fine with English and a bit of Google Translate. I asked many locals what they think of foreigners like me moving in, and they said most locals are welcoming and kind. While the influx of foreigners has overall made Da Nang a better place, there is a fine line when too many foreigners can create big problems for locals. And we've seen that play out in places like Bali, Lisbon, and Mexico City. In fact, people on the ground are fearing that Da Nang is becoming the next Bali.
Many people go here to party all the time. Like An Thượng area have a lot of people go drunk, drink a lot of alcohol, something weak.
We have a Western street, and I'm upset about it because most restaurant, bars, pub owner are Western people, not Vietnamese people. We are just worker for them on the most traffic street in Da Nang.
If you like this video, stay tuned for my next deep dive on whether Da Nang is becoming the next Bali, Indonesia, aka the latest battleground city over whether digital nomads are global citizens or modern-day colonizers.